Hey everybody, Corey here with Walker Guitar, and this is the first installment of the 6-part rock lead guitar series. So what you saw in the beginning is a solo that we're going to be working into. That is lesson 6. Now we're going to start by actually doing some smaller licks and some cool stuff to keep you entertained as you get to that level when you can play that solo. So the basic idea with this series is the same as the blues lead series I did, which is trying to develop a working knowledge of so much not playing a scale and kind of noodling through notes and hoping you find the good notes as you try to solo over things, but actually following the chords. And the chords all break down into triads, and the triads think of it as the essential notes of each chord. Now, inside these triads, every note in the triad is still found in the scale, but what it does is as you start to solo in triads, in conjunction with learning your minor scales, your minor pentatonic, and your full minor, you'll start to see the actual target tones as the chords move by in the background. And what that will do is give you this working knowledge we're talking about of being able to kind of target your creativity around the chords as they move. So that's the long-term goal. It takes a lot of work, but it's one of the funnest things, I think. So what we're going to do this lesson, I'm going to give you a little lick, and it sounds like this. So that's going to be our lick. Now we're going to do that this lesson. This is kind of a big first lesson, but we're going to do that in conjunction with some bar chords to learn the parent shapes, as I call them, and the triads that go inside of them. So, okay, welcome back. This is rock lead guitar number 1. The first thing we're going to do is go over our chords. So now some of you will probably know these. If you don't, just consider it a study sort of supplement that you're going to use. You don't need to know these to play the song, but it does help your universal knowledge of music theory to know where the triads come from. And they come from these chords. So the first one is this. It's an A minor bar chord. And it looks like this. It's you're barring over with your first finger. I'm going to go through these pretty quickly. So it looks and sounds like this. You're barring at the 5th fret over everything with your first finger, and you have your 3rd and your pinky on the A string and the D string respectively at the 7th fret. So that's your A minor chord. Down a whole step is your G major chord. Okay, same thing, but you put your middle finger on the 3rd string at the 4th fret. And then also your F chord, which is the same shape as your G, at the 1st fret. Okay, so those are your bar chords. Now here are the triads. Okay, so the first triad is from this A minor parent shape, except it's just this here. Now to be a little more specific to the lesson, we're going to remove the 1st string note, and we're just going to focus on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings. So it's like that. So you're getting 7, 5, and 5. Okay, now your G it's still kind of pulled out of the bar chord shape, but you're doing 5, 4, 3 with your 3rd, middle, and 1st finger, and then the F is the same. Now our melody is built around the triad shapes themselves. The first little bit, you're sliding from 5 to 7 and just walking your way up that triad. So you want to do this slide with your 3rd finger, because that's the finger that resolves into the triad and prepares you to get the rest of the notes. So you slide 4th string, 5th fret to 7, 5 to 7, and you kind of roll your 1st finger up the next 2 notes. You don't want to get this. You don't want to hear everything together. You want to hear these notes separated as if they're a lead. Okay? That's the first part that fits over the A minor in the background music. Okay, now the next part, and we'll work on the phrasing, don't worry about that. We'll get that, we'll tie all this together in the end. So the next little bit is doing the same concept, or we're going to get to our G chord over the background G chord in the music, but we're sliding from the note found in the triad underneath, in the F triad. So we're going to slide a whole step with our third finger up to 5 and walk our way up that shape. Just like that. Okay, now the F lick, we're actually going to be sliding from 2 instead of from 1. So same finger though, because the third finger is included in the shape. But we're going to be sliding from 2 because that note's actually in the key. So we're going to be doing 2 to 3, walking up our F chord. Now following the phrase through, we're going to pull off this note to the open string. And then we have 2 more notes, middle fingers on the 2nd fret of the G string. Pick that note, the A, and then the open G. Okay, and then we're going to finish the idea with the same 2 notes, except with a pull-off. So and then D string, 2nd fret, and you're using your middle finger because it's symmetrical with the F chord. So 2nd fret D string, open D string. And you notice that the pull-offs and the picks are kind of phrased with, that's pick, pull-off, pick, 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 pull-off, pick, pick. Okay, now the very last bit, you have a half step bend, real light bend. Use both fingers for the bend, so you're going to use the middle finger because that's the finger that frets. First finger comes behind it to give a little support and just pull down until you reach your C. And to be honest, just use your ear against the backing track. You'll know if it's in tune or not. Okay. So a couple times through now with your rhythm track. It's going to come in right after you hear the beat. If you look at your tab, it's the 2nd 16th note, but I think of it as like the beat drops and then you're on the very next place that you could hear a note. That's the easy way to think of it.